वेरी वार्म वेलकम टू ऑल ऑफ यू। सबसे पहले मैं आप सबका धन्यवाद करना चाहूंगी फॉर ज्वाइनिंग अ स्पेशल वेबिनार ऑन स्मार्ट न्यूट्रिशन फॉर स्मार्ट किड्स, proudly organized by Heta Kids, who as a brand has always strived to do the best for well-being of our little ones. मैं हूं नेहा पवार, आपकी होस्ट। क्योंकि आप सबने अपने बिजी स्केड्यूल से टाइम निकाला और हमारे साथ जुड़े हैं, तो आप सभी के लिए हेता किड्स एक वेलकम गिफ्ट लाया है जो हम सेशन के एंड में रिवील करेंगे। सो हेता किड्स की फिलॉसफी एकदम सिंपल है। गुडनेस के साथ बनाए हर प्रोडक्ट ताकि आपके बच्चों को मिले सिर्फ और सिर्फ केयर, बिना किसी हार्मफुल केमिकल्स के। बढ़ते हुए बच्चों की छोटी से बड़ी न्यूट्रिशनल रिक्वायरमेंट्स हो या फिर अडल्ट्रेशन और जंक से भरे प्लेट्स, कैसे हम अपने बच्चों को बेस्ट ऑफ न्यूट्रिशन दे सकते हैं, आइए जानते हैं हमारी स्पेशल गेस्ट डॉक्टर प्रियंका मारकेनी से, who is a certified nutritionist, a naturopath, and a health coach. So I would like to welcome Dr. Priyanka on behalf of Heta Kids. Over to you, Dr. Priyanka.
Thank you so much, Neha, and welcome everybody. I'm sure Saturday morning, most of us are a little relaxed, so let us make the best use of this. I have come up with a small presentation to begin the session with. So we will understand little basics for our little ones. We are covering the toddler age group. I myself am a toddler mother. I have a 13-month-old baby. So this resonates a lot for me to share the knowledge plus the experience with the fellow mothers. Then we will take questions after we are done with the presentation. So shall we begin? Let me share my screen. I hope my screen is visible.
Yes.
Okay, so the topic today is smart nutrition for smart kids. Yeah. So firstly, let us understand age-appropriate diet. I mean, diet word is something which is scary for us adults, right? So let us not get confused with the word diet. Diet in scientific term is food that we consume. So now, because of extra knowledge, I think it is being misused as diet, matlab na khana. So it's not that. So diet is something which is something that goes into our body and fuels us when we start. When the child is conceived in our uterus, when a mother conceives, that's when the nutrition starts for the baby to start growing. That's where this growing starts. But up till 6 months, the baby is totally dependent on the mother for all the nutrients required. That's how beautiful a mother's body is. It provides all the required nutrients for the baby to grow right from the day of conception, even before that, but right from the day of conception till the baby is 6 months old. We provide nutrition, we provide immunity, everything required for the baby to grow. Post 6 months onwards, that is a supplementary feeding we call 6 months to 1 year, where breastfeeding or formula is still the major nutrient need that is provided to the child or the baby. And supplementary feeding is when we introduce foods for the baby slowly. 1 year plus is when we actually have to start thinking or providing that additional nourishment from food. Breastfeeding will continue, it will provide the nutrition required, but that is not enough for us to depend on breastfeeding or formula feeding for 1 year plus baby. So we will have to start introducing nutrient required for the baby to grow and develop in an appropriate manner. Now, toddlers grow rapidly. We all know that their growth is day to day, right? It's not like how we adults are. Their growth and development happens every day. So the physical, mental, emotional growth development happens very, very fast. So we have to understand certain things so that we will be able to provide the best nutrition for them. It is like fueling, so we will be supporting them for the required growth. They need more nutrient per kg of body weight than adults. It works differently. The nutrition that works for children and adults are different. And it is different for different age group also. Toddler requirement is different. Post 3 years, the requirement, adolescence is different. Teenage is different. Everything is like until they are 16 to 18 years old, the requirement of the child in terms of nutrition it varies. We are only targeting the toddler age group today because it's a vast subject. So we will only be focusing on the toddler requirement. Now, what we need to focus on, again, all the six nutrients that we focus for adults is the same for babies as well. Carbohydrate for energy, protein for growth, healthy fats for the brain development, and micronutrient for the other, your muscle growth, immunity, all of that. So we get carbs, like let me quickly give you a gist of where these carbs, protein come from. Carbohydrate is our major source of energy. That is your rice, roti. Um, it you get energy from rice, roti, your millets, your roots and tuber, all of those. जो हम regularly घर पे खाते हैं, Indian meal, we take the majority of food as a carbohydrate. We are carb rich country. Protein for growth we get from all the pulses, eggs, paneer. अगर non veg खाते हैं तो we do introduce lean meat, I would say. We can introduce for the toddler from 1 year onwards. Healthy fat for brain. Fat is an important nutrient for brain development. We should not really be worried to provide that additional healthy fat for our children. Fat का मतलब ये नहीं है कि तला हुआ खाना हम खाएं, right? So fat, we get fat from a lot of healthy sources like your nuts, seeds, egg yolk, dairy product, ghee. So these things are essential for brain development. Micronutrients we get from all different fruits, your vegetables, whole grains, multiple things that we get micronutrients from. What we need to avoid, we all know junk food, packaged product, sugary drinks, even fruit juice हम मना करते हैं toddlers के लिए because it is a form of sugar. In fructose is a form of sugar. Fruit has natural sugar. Even if it is natural and healthy, जब हम उसको juice बनाते हैं, उसका fiber सब निकल जाता है, तो blood sugar spike that happens in children is much faster. So it is always better we provide fruit to eat than as a juice. Canned juices to bilkul bhi nahi dena. It has a lot of sugar, additives, all of those things which are not good for your children. Excess salt, sugar, even salt. हम दो हम introduce करते हैं salt after 1 year. It is said that first 1,000 days of the baby, first 1,000 days comes to approximately 3 years. We have to make sure that we are not giving excess amount of salt. So requirement of salt for a toddler who is 1 year plus up till 3 years is approximately 1 to 2 grams per day. अगर आप उसको measure करोगे 1 to 2 grams, चुटकी भर ही आता है. So चुटकी भर अगर हम एक मील में डालेंगे तो required amount of iodine and sodium will definitely be there in the child's plate. टेस्ट अलग है. सो वी थिंक सॉल्टलेस खाना कैसे खाएंगे, टेस्ट नहीं आएगा इसलिए शायद मेरा बच्चा नहीं खा रहा है. बट imagine this, somebody who never knows the taste of salt will not miss it. Somebody who doesn't know the taste of high sugar sweet that we do consume as adults will not miss it. The next thing we move on to is the deficiency and related disorders. This is something which I think everybody should know by heart, so that we can act quickly if we notice certain signs and symptoms in the child. We'll be able to take precautionary actions or meet the pediatrician and do the possible necessary action for the same. These are the four. I mean, there are other nutrients which are important, but these are crucial that generally goes into deficiency. First one is iron. We all know iron deficiency in babies is very common. It is That's why most of the pediatricians do recommend iron supplement also for the baby if there is no uh, required amount of weight gain that happens in the baby as per the chart, or if there is any signs that is noticed in the baby, they do prescribe iron supplements, iron drops to the baby as early as 6 months. But these things need to be prescribed and we cannot just like that provide to our child. हम डॉक्टर से कंसल्ट करके ही हमें उसको स्टार्ट करना है. अपने आप ही हमें कुछ नहीं देना है सप्लीमेंट्स में. बट खाना आपको बहुत कुछ देगा. So if you make sure that you're giving certain nutrients from food in the child's plate, that will provide the required nutrient for the child. तो आयरन डेफिशिएंसी का सिम्टम्स ये हैं कि पेल स्किन. पेल स्किन is something which is very fine line between fair skin and pale skin. So babies generally are fair, but if you notice the skin is getting lighter and lighter day by day, it is a sign that there might be deficiency of iron. So simple test is when you press on the thigh or any muscle part of the child like this, you should be able to see pink things around your fingertip. So if you notice that when you press and leave, the skin is pale for a very long time, that is a sign that might be deficiency. You will have to meet your pediatrician to consult further. Second thing is fatigue. In severe cases, delayed speech is also one of the symptoms of iron deficiency. You will also notice things like severe hair fall. Certain amount of hair fall in toddlers is normal. The baby hair falls and a new hair growth happens. But if you notice severe hair fall, patches of hair fall that is happening, could also be because of deficiency of iron. What are sources of iron? Ragi, dates, green leafy vegetables, eggs, meat, if you consume non-veg, is also a good source of iron. So it is recommended to provide these nutrients on a daily basis for your children. Along with iron's rich sources, you have to also provide vitamin C rich food, which will help in better iron absorption. What is a solution? Iron rich snacks. You can provide multiple small meals because the requirement is very minimal, very small amount that the little baby requires, but they're crucial. So you will be able to meet that iron requirement easily if you plan your day well for the child's consumption. So it's not going to be very difficult for us to meet that 9 to 10 mg iron that is required for the baby's growth and development. It will be, even if you make ragi laddu with multiple other things, that will provide you the required iron. Even if the child eats one a day, it will fill up the 50% gap that is needed. Second essential nutrient is vitamin D. हम सब जानते हैं विटामिन डी का अभी पहले नहीं था. आजकल जो डॉक्टर्स हैं प्रिस्क्राइब कर रहे हैं विटामिन डी ड्रॉप्स फॉर ऑल चिल्ड्रन, राइट? तो 10 साल पहले इफ यू हैव 2 kids, you will know that first one did not really have so much of a additional supplementation. बट आजकल पीडियाट्रिशियन हम पूछने से पहले ही प्रिस्क्राइब कर लेते हैं कि फर्स्ट 1 year आपको विटामिन डी का ड्रॉप हर रोज देना है. दिस इज बिकॉज आफ्टर मल्टीपल रिसर्च इट इज फाउंड दैट विटामिन डी का डेफिशिएंसी is very high, especially in tropical country like India, whether it is adult or children. It is noticed that vitamin D deficiency is very, very common. So WHO also has given that guideline that first year आप supplements दे दो vitamin D का हर रोज. 400 IU is what is recommended. Apart from that, vitamin D we only get from sunlight. As we all know, sunlight exposure is something that is going to help our body synthesize vitamin D in our body. That is the same for children as well. So धूप में जाना is something which is generally recommended even earlier. Since ancient time, it is noticed that धूप में लिटा के मालिश करते हैं बच्चों को. So that is a good way of getting vitamin D for them. But जब हम ऐसे सिटीज में रह रहे हैं, बिजी लाइफ है, मे बी इट इज नॉट वेरी कन्वीनियंट दैट वी गेट that kind of sun exposure. So along with sun exposure, certain things that you get from food is your fortified milk. अगर 1 साल से ऊपर का बच्चा है, fortified vitamin D, fortified milk. मिल्क तो इंडिया में अभी सब कुछ fortified ही आता है. If you buy the packaged pasteurized milk, it is fortified. But if you get milk directly from cow, that is not fortified with vitamin D. So mushrooms, sunlight, fortified milk, even egg yolk is a good source of vitamin D. तो 15 to 20 मिनट्स, अगर दिन में 15 से 20 मिनट अगर आप बच्चा को बाहर ले जा सकते हो, that is going to add on additional value. But the area that we expose to sun is what is important. जब हम generally walk पे जाते हैं, we cover the baby completely to save from mosquito bites or maybe pollution, maybe air, wind. Now Bangalore, I'm in Bangalore, so it's very cold and cold breeze is coming in, so we try to cover everything. So exposure कम हो जाता है तो absorption भी कम हो जाएगा. तो it is something that is important that we continue taking the vitamin D supplement if it is prescribed, and try to expose the baby to sunlight. If you have a balcony or a window where you get sunlight between 10 to 3, that is when you get the maximum absorption. Though there are UVB rays that is there, it also provides the vitamin D in the best possible manner. अगला वाला है विटामिन B12, जो हम अडल्ट्स को भी बहुत डेफिशिएंसी है, जो बच्चों में भी डेफिशिएंसी दिखा रहा है. तो especially between 1 to 3 years, जब बच्चा खाना कम खाता है, you would have noticed that first 6 months, 6 to 12 months जब हम इंट्रोड्यूस करते हैं तो बच्चा बहुत अच्छे से खाना खाएगा, सब कुछ खाएगा, जो आप देते हो सब कुछ खा लेगा. पर 12 महीने के बाद ऐसा कुछ बदल जाता है मैजिकली कि वो खाना एकदम से बंद कर देगा या कम करेगा. तो इट इज अ वेरी चैलेंजिंग फेस between 1 to 2 years में, when the child is very curious to explore everything, the interest towards food also reduces. That's when the deficiencies also will start if we don't keep an eye on the symptoms of it. Now, what are the symptoms of vitamin B12 deficiency? Mood issues honge. Now, it is very difficult for us to identify if the mood issues is because of sleep, which is disturbed, because of hunger, because the baby is not eating properly, or because of boredom, because they are exploring a lot of things. So, mood issues is something which is I myself am confused most of the times whether it is because of normal physiological changes or because of deficiency. But along with that, there are other symptoms that you might notice with B12 deficiency is delayed language development, maybe weakness, maybe gut issues. These things will add on along with B12 deficiency. What are sources? Eggs. Again, you will see egg is something which is coming in all of the areas of main nutrient. Dairy is a good source of vitamin B12, especially curd and paneer because it is fermented. Nutritional yeast, अगर हम घर पे यूज करते हैं, which is not very common in India, but if you bake bread at home or if you bake something at home, you can definitely use nutritional yeast, the dry yeast, what we call. Diet plus supplement. If your toddler is very fussy about eating, then meeting up will also be crucial. Calcium is the last one in the crucial list. Now, what is the deficiency that will be noticed is poor bone or teeth health. You will notice teeth decaying very fast in toddler between 2 to 3 years, not because of sugar consumption, but if your child is well kept without additional sugar, if you're maintaining all other required necessary guidelines, yet if you're noticing the teeth health is going bad, it could be because of calcium. Now, what are the sources? Milk, almond, sesame, tofu. Even leafy vegetables do provide us a little bit of calcium required. So, ये भी calcium also as iron, as we say, smaller quantity in snacks will help in better nutrient absorption as well. Now, one thing that I would want to highlight here, अगर आप iron और calcium का supplements दे रहे हैं बच्चे को, then you need to make sure that they are not given together. तो उस एक साथ आयरन और कैल्शियम देने से एब्जॉर्प्शन में मुश्किल पड़ेगा. सो योर बॉडी विल नॉट बी एबल टू एब्जॉर्ब iron and calcium together. So it is better you space it between morning and evening and give your calcium and iron supplements. ये खाने के साथ ज्यादा नहीं होता है, सप्लीमेंटेशन के साथ ही होता है. तो खाने के साथ अगर आप कैल्शियम और आयरन साथ में देते हैं तो इट विल नॉट प्रोवाइड सो मच ऑफ आई मीन इट विल नॉट गिव सो मच ऑफ अ ट्रबल फॉर अस. Now, what are the must-have nutrients, non-negotiable ones? So you will see in this picture, which is easy to identify, easy to uh, uh, absorb. What are the nutrients that are crucial for children? First thing is protein. Protein is building blocks of our body. Now, since your toddler is growing rapidly, lot of activities are being done: crawling, standing, walking, jumping, running. So a lot of muscle wear and tear happens and a lot of regrowth also is happening. So giving protein is something which will help the body to build that muscle and provide that energy. Now, protein growth and repair, as I said, where do we get protein from? Dal, egg, curd, chicken, pulses, whole pulses. So once your baby crosses 12 months, we can pretty much provide the same food as adults for the child. There is no as such restriction that you should not be giving this to the child with which the family eats, unless it is junk food. Second one is the brain development के लिए iron, we spoke about the deficiency. You need to include iron rich foods like dates, jaggery, rajma, chickpeas, the chole, leafy green vegetables. उसके साथ विटामिन सी भी बहुत जरूरी है for better absorption. तो विटामिन सी हमें फ्रूट से मिल जाता है इजीली, लेमन से मिल जाता है. यू कैन ऐड लेमन इन द फूड और यू कैन सिंपली प्रोवाइड seasonal fruits to eat, which will provide the required amount of vitamin C for absorption of iron plus immunity booster. It helps the immunity to keep maintained. It's a very good immunity booster for the child. Calcium and vitamin D, bone health के लिए and definitely immunity and growth is something which is calcium and vitamin D is very important. Dairy, sesame, sunlight, as we discussed earlier. Healthy fats, brain fuel है. तो हेल्दी फैट्स हमें रेगुलरली जो बच्चों को देना है, नो कॉम्प्रोमाइज. एग्स अगर खाते हैं तो एग योक डेफिनेटली हैज टू बी इंक्लूडेड. डेयरी, फुल फैट डेयरी इंक्लूड करना. तो अगर आप रेगुलर टोन्ड मिल्क अपने घर में सबके लिए लाते हैं, जैसे सिंगल टोन, डबल टोन नहीं बोल रही हूँ मैं, सिंगल टोन मिल्क 3% फैट कैन बी प्रोवाइडेड, बट मेक श्योर you give additionally, you give ghee or nuts and seeds, coconut oil, even olive oil use कर सकते हैं for cooking your regular meal for the baby. तो खाने के साथ additional half teaspoon of ghee with lunch and dinner will do the need. So घी से भर भर के खाना खिलाना नहीं है क्योंकि वो बहुत heavy होता है, तो खाना quantity will reduce. तो baby will not be able to eat the required amount of quantity if we provide a lot of fat in one meal. So space it out. Space it out in such a manner that smaller quantity will give the required nutrient for the baby. Now, next one is a fiber. This is something which I commonly get asked about the constipation in children, right? So constipation in children is very common because their gut is still developing. It is not yet developed into a mature digestive system. So constipation is something which is very common. So fiber from whole grain, vegetables, fruits, you need to keep giving on a regular basis, on a daily basis, in fact, to make sure that the child does not really get constipated. Along with fiber, hydration is also something which we keep in mind for 1 year plus, because the number of feed, the breastfeed or the formula feed reduces. Until 1 year, the main source of nutrition and hydration is milk. Post 1 year, the required amount of breast milk or formula milk is reduced, and the amount of food that the baby consumes is also on the higher side comparatively. So hydration plays a major role. So you have to make sure that you provide water in between sips of water to the child, so the hydration is also well maintained. Omega-3 is the next nutrient, which is again brain food. I call it brain food because omega-3 is something which is even in a smaller quantity will do the magic. providing avocado, even your nuts and seeds. You can slightly roast them and make it into a powder and provide half a teaspoon to 1 teaspoon on a daily basis, or add that in your laddus, will give you the amount of omega 3 required. If you are a non-vegetarian family and if you would like to give fish, you definitely can introduce fish post 1 year of age. Last one is potassium. This is required for muscle and heart health. It will come from a lot of fruits, vegetables. We don't have to really track potassium because it is present in almost all fruits and vegetables. So if you make sure that you provide that smaller amount of fruits and vegetables, potassium will be taken care. Last is the gut health. I was talking about the constipation in children, in toddlers especially. Now, gut health is something which we have to give a little attention to because, as I said, the gut is still immature. It is still developing. The system is not yet developed fully to take the load of food that the baby is consuming. Secondly, the baby's food habit also changes from 12 months onwards, right? The 6 months onwards, the solids start. From 12 months onwards, the way of solids also changes. So the gut is going in a repeated exposure to different kind of food. So it is important for us to provide that little required microorganisms from food so that the gut bacteria, the gut flora is developed properly. Since the muscle, I mean, gut is nothing but intestine, right? So intestine muscles have to contract and release to move the food through the small intestine and then through the large intestine. And finally, the poop comes out, which is not absorbed. Since the muscles are not strong enough yet, it might happen that the baby suffers from gas, maybe stomach pain sometimes, maybe constipation, not pooping for longer time. All of these are natural and normal in children. So these are the things that we need to include to support and help. So include probiotic, which is good bacteria. You can give curd, buttermilk, which is natural, easy to provide probiotic. Prebiotics are food for the bacteria. So prebiotics come from oats, banana, garlic, onion, and what we need to keep in mind is to avoid unnecessary medication which disrupt the gut flora. Unnecessary medication, when I mean people giving antibiotics very, very easily for children who fall sick. Excess amount of any kind of medication for a little bit of cold and cough and fever. So I'm sure you all are aware, the pediatrician definitely would have told you, but it is still noticed in many families that they fear the falling ill. Little bit temperature, they do self-medication and provide antibiotics. That is very wrong. This will reduce the immunity of the child for sure. The baby's body will not be able to fight against smaller infection on its own. Secondly, it will disrupt the gut flora as well. So you will notice a lot of stomach trouble going forward in long term. Even after the child becomes an adult, the child will face the issues in years going forward as well. So this is a foundation that we as parents should set for our children so that as an adult, they don't face any kind of a trouble in their regular system. Excess sugar and fried food, बच्चा ही तो है खाने दो, नहीं चलेगा. That is something which is very wrong statement. बच्चे के लिए भी हमें, बच्चे के लिए स्पेशली हमें वो कंट्रोल में रखना पड़ेगा. For that, हमें कंट्रोल में करना पड़ेगा. So we cannot eat wrong food, so the child does not really ask for it. Encourage outdoor play and regular meal timing. This is something which can actually help your child to have a good gut health. Regular movement, regular exercise, outdoor play, physical activity, and mealtime restrictions. So I'm not saying ditto at 1 o'clock we'll have to eat lunch, but you have to have like a time around it. Between 12:30 to 1:30 is a meal time that you eat the food. The last thing, I won't take much time. I will finish this slide and that is done. The last thing is acidity, bloating, stomachache. What can we do? How can we manage at home to provide that basic required natural medication, and if that is not taken care, हम डॉक्टर के पास जा सकते हैं. तो प्रॉब्लम एसिडिटी. दिस इज साइंस विल बी burping, crankiness post meal. Maybe you will also notice sometimes spitting. The spitting in small babies is normal, but post 1 year you will notice sometimes the spitting happens. If it is once in a while, that's okay, but if it is regularly happening, you will notice the baby burping and crying. That could be because of acidity and acid reflux. Try and identify the trigger. Try to notice if you have given anything, uh, any food, and that is causing this multiple times, or any new food that is introduced will also make this. The solution for this is smaller meals. Try to give smaller, frequent meals. Ajwain water in between, sips of ajwain water will also help. Bloating, tight tummy, you will notice the tummy is distended in the baby. When you touch, it is not soft, and it is tight, and the baby is fussy, and the baby is crying and wiggling, doing all of this. Could be because of bloating and gas. Hing paste on navel, the age-old dadima method, will help here. Even tummy massage, thoda sa cycling movement karna, tummy massage, the I love you massage that we do for colic, these will help manage the bloating. Constipation, we spoke about this. Hard stool, जब बेबी पॉटी करेगा, राउंड बॉल्स के जैसे निकलेगा, तो मल्टीपल हार्ड पीसेस ऑफ स्टूल्स. Even skipped poop days, multiple days, more than 3 days, if the baby is not pooping. This is 1 year plus. Up till then, even up till 10 days, no pooping is normal. But toddlerhood में, if it is more than 3 to 5 days, बच्चा रो रहा है, जब प्रेशर आ रहा है, तो बच्चा मैनेज नहीं कर पा रहा है, so you will notice all of these symptoms, which is not normal. तो solution for this, warm water, garam pani पिलाओ, sips of warm water between the day, post meals. आप उनके सिपर में डाके दे सकते हैं, या तो स्पून में दे सकते हैं. सिप्स ऑफ वार्म वाटर, नॉट हॉट वाटर. सोक्ड रेजिन्स या प्रून्स, जो मुनक्का होता है, तो उसको पानी में भिगो के रात भर, सुबह उसको खाली पेट खिला सकते हैं. तो प्रून्स भी हो सकता है, या नॉर्मल रेजिन्स को भी आप कर सकते हैं. कितना देना है? करीब 5 से 10 द रेजिन्स, और इफ इट इज अ प्रून, द बिगर वन, you can give about 2 to 3. Soak it. Even soaked figs also do the same thing. तो स्नैक्स के जैसे भी दे सकते हैं, सुबह खाली पेट भी दे सकते हैं. तो try not to give very close to meal time, because they are quite heavy on the stomach. So the baby might not eat food immediately if you provide it right before the meal. होल ग्रेन और फाइबर रिच खाना आपको रेगुलरली इंक्लूड करना है. होल ग्रेन में आपको मिलेट्स आते हैं, होल व्हीट होता है, ब्राउन राइस दे सकते हैं. होल ग्रेन मतलब आपका जो पल्सेस हैं, येलो दाल है या राजमा चना जैसा होल पल्सेस है, उनको थोड़ा थोड़ा क्वांटिटी में इंक्लूड करने से द अमाउंट ऑफ फाइबर दैट इज नेसेसरी विल बी गिवन टू द चाइल्ड. जनरल स्टमक एक, crying, refusal to eat, some discomfort. This can be identified easily if the baby is in discomfort. Jeera pani, ajwain ka potli on the stomach area, or even ghee, intake of little ghee in the food, ghee around the navel will also be helpful. That's it from my side. If I have missed something, happy to take it as questions. I think you're on mute, Neha. Neha, you're on mute. Yeah.
Thank you so much, doctor. You've shared a lot of valuable information with all the parents here. Thank you so much. लेकिन थोड़े questions still हम पूछ लेते हैं आपसे.
Definitely.
So, doctor, why do you think that sugar is a major concern for children? Or is there any safe limit to consume it?
Between, अगर हम अपना एज ग्रुप टारगेट करेंगे between 1 to 3 years, there is absolutely no safe range for it. मना ही करना पड़ेगा, कितना हो सके उतना. I'll tell you why. Sugar is something which spikes the blood sugar levels, and these little brains, they get sugar high. You will notice this even if you give one candy, they're all over the place, right? So
Right.
sugar high is real in babies. So sugar consumption has affected a lot of other brain and development in babies as well. So sugar can get addictive very, very fast. Even that one small toffee on a daily basis can get addictive. आप ये करके भी देख सकते हो. रोज अगर आप 3 दिन तक एक टॉफी दे दोगे, चौथा दिन बच्चा अपने आप एक्सपेक्ट करेगा कि आप वो टॉफी दे दो. So it is addictive. Now, not just that, it is okay to provide that one toffee a day, but it will also the baby will have affected meal time because of the sugar. तो अपना जो खाना है रेगुलर खाना खाना that is not going to happen on a easier way. You will notice mealtime struggle. You will notice lowered appetite. You will also notice that the interest to eat food actually reduces. This is because the taste of sugar masks the actual taste of real food. Real food also has the taste, the natural sweetness that comes from vegetables and grains. So these strong taste of sugar that the taste buds are exposed to, they actually affect the natural taste. वो milder होते हैं, तो milder taste अच्छा नहीं लगता है. तो addiction is real. So I would not really say any safe quantity or जो हम देना है, but keep it. I would not say totally stop giving if it is difficult, especially अगर घर में बड़ा बच्चा है तो कंट्रोल करना मुश्किल हो जाएगा. तो limit it to maybe once in a while. Don't have like a pattern that is created for giving that sweets.
हेलो मैम.
आई वुड लाइक श्वेता जी, मैंने देखा आपका हैंड रेस्ड है. आई वुड रिक्वेस्ट हम ना ऑडियंस के क्वेश्चंस बस ये मैम के साथ थोड़े से क्वेश्चंस सारे आंसर करने के बाद उसके बाद सारे ऑडियंस के क्वेश्चंस लेंगे. सो यू कैन राइट योर क्वेश्चन इन द चैट बॉक्स. हम वो एक एक करके पिकअप करते रहेंगे.
श्योर, थैंक यू.
या थैंक यू सो मच श्वेता जी.
Yes.
Agreed, doctor. Sugar is actually very addictive. But still, if you would like to recommend some sugar-related alternatives.
Alternatives में dates दे सकते हैं. Natural sweetness आएगा. If you want to make any sweet treat for your child, you can make dates laddu. You can add either dates powder or normal dates को paste करके you can mix it in food. You can provide the फ्रूट एक्सट्रैक्ट. आई मीन नेचुरल घर पे जो एक्सट्रैक्ट बनाते हैं, तो यू कैन ऐड. जो मैं करती हूँ, व्हेन आई गिव समथिंग टू माय बेबी, आई add apple as a sweetener in her oatmeal, or banana as sweetener in the oatmeal. Dates is something which I regularly include in her meals, but I do restrict the amount of laddus that I provide as well. तो अगर dates का भी बना है तो I don't just give it as is because it is made of dates. The restriction तो हमें करना ही पड़ेगा, but safer level of including natural sweetness rather than giving even jaggery, honey, sugar is what you need to restrict in such cases. Dates is a safe way of doing it. Fruits is a safe way of doing it.
And ma'am, what about normal iodized salt? Because is rock salt a better choice given that everyone is in fashion to use it these days?
Uh, no, see, salt is used for its iodine more than sodium. So India में back many years ago, I don't remember the time, but back many years ago, there was a commonly seen goiter, as goiter was a very common disorder in India, because of which government has made salt to be iodized. So because salt is something which we use on a daily basis, everybody uses it. So that was the only way through which iodine can be circulated to everybody, right? Now, similar for the babies as well. But salt need for baby is not, salt is not necessary until 1 year, because their kidneys are very, very immature to take that amount of salt load. Even 1 gram of salt is not necessary. The required sodium we get from food for babies. Post 1 year, you can include salt, but the need is 1 to 2 grams only. वो भी iodized salt. The amount of iodine that is needed will come from that 1 to 2 grams of salt. Pinch. इसके अंदर जितना आ सकता है उतना ही। तो अगर हम उसको खाएंगे तो टेस्ट में तो कुछ नहीं आएगा, पर उसका जो रिक्वायर्ड अमाउंट ऑफ आयोडीन है वो तो विल डेफिनेटली गेट फ्रॉम दैट अमाउंट। बट रॉक सॉल्ट या पिंक सॉल्ट, हिमालयन पिंक सॉल्ट से आयोडीन नहीं आता है, तो बच्चों को उसको नहीं देना है।
ओके, ठीक है। एंड मैम, विद पिकी ईटिंग बीइंग अ मेजर कंसर्न, कैन यू सजेस्ट सम इफेक्टिव स्ट्रैटेजीज जिससे टॉडलर्स को बैलेंस्ड न्यूट्रिशन मिल सके?
Picky eaters, yes. I think we being working mothers, it is very, very challenging to manage the meal time, especially in the morning when we are in rush, you know. So one strategy that uh, helps most of the times is meal planning. Meal planning for the entire week, so that we can know what is to be provided on what day of the week. वंस यू नो द प्लानिंग, थोड़ा यहाँ वहाँ चेंजेस हम कर सकते हैं। जो बिना आइडिया का जब हम सुबह उठते हैं तो क्या बनाए सोच के वो दिमाग फट जाता है, राइट? तो
True.
क्या देना है, दैट इज अ मेजर चैलेंज। So to break that, I think planning the week ahead, this helps me personally. I plan the week ahead. I chart it down, mention what food on what days. So it at least gives me an idea that, okay, this is what I need to prepare today. Second thing is to introduce new things slowly in different varieties, you know. For example, अगर बच्चे को कुछ पसंद नहीं है तो the food what you provide generally is not a hit. Try to change the way that you provide. Instead of the regular normal way, you may make it fancier way. Pancakes अगर नहीं खाना है तो make it into animal shape and probably see if that works. Vegetables अगर नहीं खाना है तो maybe squeeze it in any kind of a curries that you're providing. Blend it and add it to begin with. Once the child is open to accepting new changes, then you can probably introduce in a different shapes and different varieties. Thirdly, if it is a little older baby, like 2-year-old, involve the child in making something, at least on weekends, at least when you have time. So when you involve the child in making something, the interest in eating food improves over a period of time. So if it is something that generally fun way में Saturday को कुछ बनाया साथ में बैठ के, तो that will help the baby to at least open himself or herself to try it. Last and important thing, साथ में बैठ के खाओ. So when, I mean, monkey see, monkey do is real in babies. They see us eat, they will eventually end up eating. Lastly, if you provide something and the baby rejects it, don't give an alternative immediately. So say if you have provided dosa and the baby rejects it, then mother's heart is like, बच्चा कुछ नहीं खाया, कुछ और तो दे देते हैं। ये रागी रेगुलरली खाता है, रागी बना के दे दूं। वो रेगुलरली खाता है, वो बना के दे दूं। एटलीस्ट दूध ही पिलाओ, right? Something will go inside the stomach, but that will increase the pickiness going forward and make it more challenging as the baby grows older. तो rather, if breakfast में कुछ ऑफर किया था वो नहीं खाया, see for 20 minutes. If the baby rejects it completely, remove the plate from the table. 2 hours के बाद same खाना फिर से ऑफर करो. So eventually it will get into a habit that the baby will end up eating. The pickiness will be controlled eventually.
Correct. And are there any specific nutrients that support children's skin, hair, and overall development in terms of energy and?
Of course, these things are something which is necessary for skin, hair, and development, especially protein, biotin that you get from things like egg yolk, your leafy vegetables, nuts and seeds, like your almonds, pumpkin seeds, and your vitamin A, E, D. These are very important for your skin and hair. You get it from nuts and seeds again, fruits and vegetables also. Lastly, zinc I mentioned. Iron is something which is very important for hair as well. Iron, hair and skin. So in general, if you include leafy vegetables, nuts powder, eggs, milk, curd, paneer, dals and pulses in smaller quantities. Babies only need little bit of food, but we have to make sure that they are dense in nutrients. So whatever that little 2 spoons the baby eats gets all the nutrients required.
Okay, perfect.
So I
And
think we should now take up the audience questions because otherwise the timings will be an issue. There are many interesting questions that
Yeah,
audience.
sure. I'm here to answer.
Sure. Over to you, Neha.
yeah, sure, Sunaina, thank you. So, a mother is asking a vitamin D dosage for 9 to 10-year-old kid.
9 to 10-year-old kid is the same dose as adults, but for adults it is not something that is prescribed. I mean, it's over the counter available. But for 9 to 10, I would say prescription from pediatrician is necessary. So you will have to take prescription from pediatrician and take it.
There's
Yeah.
one interesting question which I am also quite keen to ask,
Okay.
which is, in the morning time when we send kids to school,
Mm-hmm.
they're usually not in mood to eat anything. And we
Right.
end up giving them just a glass of milk and they rush to the school.
Right.
So, how safe is it to give them just milk and send them? And then, of course, at 11 or so, they have their
Snack break.
lunchtime and they end up eating snacks and all.
That's
So, what
okay.
would you
See,
suggest?
it's okay if the 11 a.m. snack provides like a dense nutrient rich food and you sending the child to school with a glass of milk, which is absolutely okay. You don't have to really worry about it. Second option for you is you can try giving smoothies in the morning, adding a fruit, some nuts and seeds along with milk, and maybe reduce the quantity to 100 ml instead of a full glass. That is also a good way of doing it. It's quick and easy to make, also to drink, also for the child. But any which way, if the child drinks a glass of milk and eats like a well balanced snack at 11, is not a problem. Then because anyway lunch will be there post that. So that's okay. I hope I have cleared
Yes,
the doubt.
yes, definitely.
Yes.
There's one more question. Yeah, over to you.
Please continue, Sunaina.
No, there's one more question, which is a 9-year-old daughter, and she has started decaying. Her teeth has started getting decayed, and hair fall bhi ho raha hai. In fact, my kid, who's also 10 years old, was telling me कि I started hair fall अभी 1-2 महीने से. Whenever I take bath, so hair is falling all over my body and all. So what deficiency this could be, and how can we treat it?
Iron and vitamin D. It is good to check with the pediatrician if you can start on supplements. Secondly, before starting supplement, try to boost the iron intake in food, like leafy vegetables, include dates in the food, like one date every day consistently, including iron-rich fruits like your pomegranate, maybe your chiku. These things are rich in iron. So including them consistently will help in adding in the hair fall. And secondly, deficiency, if it is any deficiency, if it is too high amount of hair fall that is happening, then checking with the pediatrician is necessary. Thirdly, it could also be periodic hair fall that is happening. Like hair has natural life. It especially in the first year, there will be a lot of baby hair falling and new hair growing. Between 1 to 5 years, there will be again a lot of new hair growth that is happening and the baby hair will keep falling. And post which, when the hair maturity increases, you will notice that every 1 to 3 years, there will be high amount of hair fall that is happening. So if you're noticing that suddenly every year in the particular time, the hair fall is happening and the new baby hair is growing, then it's not a problem. It could just be the hair cycle that is changing. And lastly, hygiene part, because kids sweat a lot. there will be a lot of dust accumulated in the scalp. So regular hair wash, using non-chemical treated. I mean, Heta Kids is the best thing to do for it. Using the shampoos which are not high on chemicals, something that we all need to keep an eye on.
Thank you so much.
So one more mother is asking, she wants to know a good milk powder because his 10-year-old son doesn't take plain milk. So there I want to ask, is dairy that important that we have to give the child milk even
No,
if he's
not
not
really.
willing to take it?
Not really. It's not something non-negotiable part of the day. Milk, if some people like it, some people don't like it. And if the baby or the child doesn't like it and force feed it, it will develop a negative association with food altogether. So milk is not something which is really important for everybody to consume. No doubt, milk is a complete source of nutrients. One glass of milk will provide calcium, carbohydrates, required amount of fat, nutrients, all of those things. It's like one glass will give you a lot of nutrients required, but it's not something which you have to forcefully feed to the child. I see a lot of mothers getting worried that my child doesn't like to drink milk. So you can try adding additives like naturally homemade powders, like you can mix all the nutrients, your nuts and seeds powder you can add, elaichi powder you can add, plain cocoa powder you can add without sugar. So these things are acceptable things. You can give it in a form of milkshakes if that is something your child likes. But after all these tries, if the child doesn't like it at all, then don't force. Calcium sources, you will get enough calcium from other things like your sesame seeds, leafy vegetables, almonds, your
Right.
regular non-dairy things like your tofu, etc., can also be included. Non-milk products like your curd and paneer also is a good source of calcium. So if that is used regularly, then milk can be exempted.
Okay.
Yeah.
And these days, early periods is getting very frequent. Like a lot of girls are going through this. So, what can be done to avoid this situation?
It's scary that how a 6-year-old gets the period for the first time. I think the lifestyle plays a lot of role here. Uh, First and foremost, a lot of physical activity is what we have to encourage the child to do. Outdoor play is very essential. At least 30 minutes every day, the child has to go out and play. Reduce the screen time, which is another challenge at this time. Lastly, nutrition is something which is again plays a major role, where you provide a well balanced, natural, fresh, homemade food for the baby and restrict the amount of preservatives, added food, junk food, outside food, and sugar for sure. You'll have to make sure that the child is restricted on the amount of sugar. So don't give free flowing amount of biscuits and packaged snacks for the child, because thinking bachcha hai to hai, that is not going to work. So people say we have also grown up eating junk food, but if you see 30 years back, we didn't have the amount of access that these days kids have. The amount of preservatives that these days are there, earlier it used to be not the case. So we cannot compare a generation these days to the millennials earlier. So you need to make sure that these things are in practice from the child is 4 years old. So if you're taking care of physical activity and nutrients from 4 years old, it becomes a lifestyle for the child, and moreover, be a model to the child. So if mothers are taking care of a lot of stuff, the girls will also adapt that.
Yeah, true. So, ma'am, one more question is there. What all to do to boost the immunity of kids these days because they're suffering from cold and cough very frequently.
Hmm.
So, here to add on, I would like to know that the gummies and the milk
Mm.
mix, these are being marketed a lot. So are they equally important? Like we really require to give them, add them to the diet of our children?
See, firstly, food. I would always keep food on top priority to provide nutrients. We get almost everything from food. So immunity, let me answer the immunity question first. Immunity, you improve using a lot of vitamin C rich foods, like your citrus fruits, for example, providing in the season, if it is orange, guava, eating that will help in boosting the immunity of children. Second is good protein and vitamin D in the food. Protein, we already spoke. Protein rich food helps in building immunity as well in the developing brains and children. Lastly, if you take care about a plate that is well balanced, say your ghar ka khana, dal, chawal, some sabji, and a little bit of curd and some ghee on top, and make it a habit to provide freshly made food on a regular basis, that will help in building the immunity for better. And talking about the supplements, the gummies are supplements, nothing but supplements. They can be included. I wouldn't really comment on their bad or should not be given at all, but you should be aware about the ingredients used. They might include nutrients, but to make it into a gummy, there will go a lot of other ingredients in them as well. So if you're sure about how good the ingredients are, you can give them as a supplement in the child's diet. Can be included, but not a compulsory one.
How much water should a 10-year-old kid consume? This is one of the question coming up.
10-year-old, okay. About a liter minimum is something that the child has to drink, 1 liter of water. But if the water consumption is difficult because of multiple reasons, you can also compensate that with other liquid in the diet, like maybe soups, maybe milkshakes, maybe smoothies, maybe infused water, adding some fruits in the water as pieces rather than fruit juice, and including water rich fruits like melons, oranges. They are also going to provide the required amount of hydration for the child. But water drinking is a challenge, I know.
Ma'am, one of the mother is asking, उनकी बेटी 9 years old है and चश्मे का number बहुत ज़्यादा है. So what lifestyle changes and dietary changes can be made to reduce the number?
Okay, so this is something which is a little tricky. I being Chashmish myself, but but it can be. See, if it is genetic, we probably can't do anything. But diet does help in a little bit of things. Vitamin A rich foods are good for eyes. Anything which is red and orange, like your carrot, melon, watermelon, your prunes, anything which is papaya, orange and red, vitamin A rich foods. Include them on a regular basis. रोज एक कैरेट खाने से भी eyes health will improve. If it is something related to nutrition and development, you will notice the change in number over a period of time when the baby grows, when the girl grows older. But if it is genetic, then we may not really be able to do anything. Lastly, screen time. Screen time is going to be very, very crucial in such case. So if the child is exposed to screen, if you are giving screen like maybe limited time, half an hour a day or whatever, it is better to give it in TV over tablet or phone. So TV is a better way of perception over phone and tablet, because you can make sure that the 6 feet distance is maintained while watching.
Okay.
Yeah, that would be
And
something which might help.
thank you. And how many eggs should be given to a 9 to 10-year-old kid in a day?
9 to
To
10,
specifically to a girl.
1 to 2 a day
One.
should be okay. Yeah, 2 eggs you can provide.
Okay. And ma'am, is chicken and egg consumption, should we reduce their consumption to avoid early periods?
Yeah, I think it depends on the source of chicken and eggs that you get, because nowadays, especially in the city limits, you can't trust the source as much. So if it is hormonal injected, if the uh, multiple things there, so it is better to avoid or restrict. Avoiding will be difficult, but restrict it to once or twice a week if you don't know the source of chicken, or if you cannot source an real organic brand, then yeah, it is better to restrict it. But if you know the source is a real organic thing, then you can provide. That's not a problem.
Ma'am, if you can suggest some weekly meal plans that can be prepared for like school-going kids.
Pretty much provide anything that we eat as adults. My personal funda is we should not have a separate meal plan for children in the house, you know. So once the baby turns 1 year old, they should be brought into family pot. So we should start introducing them to what we eat as a family, and going forward, entire family eats what the child eats. So now here's a difficult part. If we want the child to eat healthy, we should eat healthy ourselves too. If the child has to avoid sugar, we should avoid it ourselves too. If the child has to eat vegetables, we should eat it too. So if in your family somebody in the table doesn't eat a particular vegetable, the child is going to notice that and bring that topic ahead and say, I don't like this. So there will be a lot of mimicking that happens, role modeling that happens, especially in this age. So if you as a family eat in one meal, if you eat one vegetable, one pulse, or any protein source from veg or non-veg, one source of carbohydrate from whole grains, and you are eating a well-balanced meal yourself without having anything fried, bhujia, papad, anything that is added along, then the child will also eat the same thing. So to suggest a meal plan for a week, I mean, I can prepare one. If you contact me, I definitely will be happy to guide you through and make like a diet plan for the child and the family, which you can follow.
Thank you so much, ma'am. And actually, I hope हमने limited time में आप सबके major doubts and worries को clear करा है. But especially, I would like to express my gratitude for sharing your valuable expertise on kids nutrition, Priyanka ma'am. Thank you so much. It was
Thank you so
very
much
nice
for providing
of
this
having you.
platform for me to talk, because
Just
it's a very interesting topic. Meanwhile, it is very vast. We have a lot to talk about it. So I've tried to concise it, but then it went a little more than the time that you gave me. But thank you so much for this opportunity. I would like to take one question which is popping up here. 8 months confused about beetroot. It should be raw or cooked. For 8 months or anything below 12 months, try not to give anything raw. Cook it and give it. So that is not a problem. So raw will be difficult to digest, especially vegetables. Fruits can be given raw, but vegetables, try to cook it. Yeah. Thank you so much. And you can, if anyone has further doubts, you can contact me on Instagram. So I am with a handle Dr. Marakini. So we'll be happy to chat with you all.
we'll share Priyanka ma'am's contact number in the WhatsApp group. So आपको जो भी कुछ भी
Sure.
क्वेश्चन हो आप हमको भी पूछ सकते हैं एंड मैम को डायरेक्टली भी पूछ सकते हैं.
Sure,
So
sure. I'll be happy to help.
thank you so much, Dr. Priyanka.
Thank you so much.
And let's reveal the welcome gift that we promised in the start of this webinar. So we would like to offer a discount coupon. I'll mention that in the chat box, which you can avail on our website on all our Heather Kids products, actually. Just give me a moment. So here you will get 10% discount on all Heather Kids products, and I'm sure that you will be happy with this experience. They are all chemical free and whatever is required for a child's delicate skin. So do let us know the experience. And please follow our Instagram page. In case of any support, you can contact us at support@hetakids.com. And our products are also available at Amazon, Flipkart, Myntra and JioMart. सो इसी के साथ हम ये अमेजिंग सेशन एंड करते हैं। आप सबका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद ये सेशन में जुड़ने के लिए। थैंक यू सो मच।